Hey everyone, welcome back to Gossip Mail Report, your ultimate destination for royal reality checks, juicy scandals, and the kind of speculation that gives Buckingham Palace nightmares. Because what we're talking about today is no joke. Another young royal family member, yes, a cousin of Prince William and Prince Harry, has been found dead under extremely troubling and familiar circumstances. And the official story? It's the same old tune. No foul play, non-suspicious. Nothing to see here. But those of us who've been watching long enough know when something doesn't smell right. And trust me, this milk has spoiled. Rosie Rocher, 20 years old, bright, reportedly bubbly, and a student at Durham University, pursuing a degree in English, was found dead in her family home in Norton on July 14th. A gun was found next to her. According to reports from The Sun, Rosie was discovered by her own mother and sister. She had been packing for a trip with friends when, seemingly out of nowhere, tragedy struck. No suicide note has been confirmed. No witnesses. No detailed timeline. Just a young woman, full of potential, found dead with a firearm nearby, and the case was swiftly ruled non-suspicious. Now, if that feels abrupt to you, you're not alone. Let's think about this. We're barely a week from the incident, and the police, together with the coroner, are already comfortable closing the book on the case. No further investigations are expected. They claim there was no third-party involvement. That's it. Case closed. Move along. But we're not moving along because the context matters. Let's rewind the tape and remember another recent baffling royal tragedy, the death of Thomas Kingston. Thomas, husband to Lady Gabriella Windsor, a distant cousin of William and Harry, was also found dead in February this year. And again, it was at a family residence, with a firearm found nearby, and ruled very quickly to be a suicide. He was described by friends and loved ones as upbeat, cheerful, forward-looking. Sound familiar? Both deaths occurred under murky circumstances with next to no transparent inquiry. Both were swept under the rug within days. And in both cases, despite the suddenness and shock, authorities were quick to assure us it was nothing suspicious. Come on, are we the only ones connecting the dots? This is not normal. This is not standard protocol. When two individuals connected to the royal family, however loosely, die within months of each other, both by gunshot, both alone, both swiftly declared, nothing to see here, that's not coincidence. That's a pattern. And patterns tell stories. A silent royal cleanup? Now here's where things get murky and dangerous to speculate. But here at Gossip Mail Report, we're not afraid of asking the uncomfortable questions. Was Rosie Rocher just an innocent victim of mental health struggles? That is entirely possible. And if so, our hearts go out to her family, because the pain of suicide is gut-wrenching and irreversible. But could she have known something? Could she have been viewed as a liability within the institution or among those connected to it? We know the royal family has gone to extraordinary lengths to protect its image historically and recently. Look at how Prince Andrew's connections were handled. Look at how Meghan and Harry were treated for speaking out. Look at the mysterious, months-long disappearance of Kate Middleton, with only a vague statement about surgery and a now infamous photoshopped Mother's Day picture to tide the public over. When secrets threaten to spill, the palace doesn't engage, it silences. And in that silence, people disappear. Friendships end. Relationships crumble. And in the worst-case scenarios, people die. The media's role. Why so quiet? One of the most troubling aspects of this story is the media's relative silence. Besides The Sun and TMZ dropping the initial news, major UK outlets have barely touched the story. No follow-ups, no investigative reporting, no background interviews. It's like Rosie never existed. Why? Could it be because Rosie, though not a frontline royal, was still close enough through Diana's uncle to be considered in the royal orbit? Was the quiet deliberate? Did the media receive subtle warnings not to dig too deep? The British press has historically walked hand-in-hand with royal PR, especially when it suits their interests. But their silence speaks volumes. Compare that with how they hound Meghan Markle over curtsy form, or Harry over book titles. When it's the Sussexes, they're foaming at the mouth. But when it's an actual death, it's crickets. Ask yourself why. And then there's Kate Middleton. Let's not forget the royal mystery of the year, Kate Middleton's vanishing act. For months, she was missing. Not seen, not heard, not even photographed in an era where every smartphone can snap a pic. The palace offered only the vaguest of reassurances. Then, when she reappeared, It was only at tightly controlled events, with carefully curated looks and tightly gridded smiles. And looming beside her was Natasha Archer, once Kate's closest confidant, stylist, and right-hand woman. Or was. Let's talk Natasha. She was by Kate's side for over 15 years. A loyal friend, assistant, and stylist. She was even seen driving away from the hospital after Kate's surgery. If anyone knew the truth about Kate's health, mental state, or private concerns, it was Natasha. But recently, Natasha seems to have distanced herself. She's no longer employed by Kate. She's followed stylists connected to Meghan Markle. She's posted publicly in a way that raises eyebrows, subtle signals that insiders always notice. Why the fallout? Some believe Natasha saw things she couldn't tolerate, whether it was Kate's mental state, behind-the-scenes tensions, or alleged affairs involving Prince William. Some think she was pushed out. Others speculate that she chose to step away because she didn't want to be complicit in the smoke and mirrors. Could Natasha be the next person to mysteriously disappear? We're not saying she's in danger, but we are saying that those who stray too far from the palace line don't tend to fare well. Think about Meghan. Think about Princess Diana. Think about Rosie. The larger pattern. Coincidence or control? Let's zoom out for a second. Thomas Kingston dead with a gun, non-suspicious. Rosie Rocher dead with a gun, non-suspicious. Kate Middleton disappeared for months, now subdued. Natasha Archer quietly removed. Meghan and Harry exiled for speaking their truth. Diana gone under circumstances still debated today. How many times do we have to see this pattern before we stop calling it coincidence? This is about control, narrative control, reputation management, institutional self-preservation. The firm does not tolerate disobedience. It doesn't reward truth-tellers. It protects its own until someone becomes inconvenient. And when they do, things happen. Fast, quietly, permanently. Before we wrap up this segment, let me be clear. If Rosie did tragically take her own life, that deserves solemnity and compassion. Mental health is no joke. The pressure of being even remotely connected to a family like the Windsors can be suffocating, particularly for someone young, idealistic, and perhaps not equipped to navigate those treacherous waters. But what we mustn't do is stop asking questions just because it's uncomfortable. To do so would be a disservice to Rosie, to Thomas, and to anyone else caught in the shadows of royalty. Final thoughts. What comes next? So what happens now? Will there be a real investigation? Probably not. Will Rosie's death quietly vanish from the headlines? Most likely. Will questions linger? Absolutely. And here at Gossip Mail Report, we'll keep asking them. Because someone has to. The British royal family is not a soap opera. It's a powerful institution that operates above the law, above scrutiny, and above accountability, and it's time we stop pretending otherwise. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Another day, another dark royal mystery. But don't let the silence fool you, something in the buttermilk is definitely not clean. The jam jar is leaking. The tuna sandwich has expired. The avocado has turned brown. And the more they try to gaslight the public, the louder we'll get. If you found this deep dive insightful, hit that like button, share it with a friend who's not afraid of the truth, and leave your theories in the comments below. And if you want to support independent commentary that dares to ask the real questions, feel free to drop a tip using the $ icon. Every little bit helps us keep digging. Until next time, stay skeptical, stay sharp, and stay safe. You're watching Gossip Mail Report, and we'll be back soon with more royal reality, no matter how uncomfortable it gets. Peace out.